Greetings, YouTube. Today I'm going to talk about the Pathfinder Role-playing Game, which is a book I just finished taking a look at yesterday. This is a monster book. 576 pages. It's a combination of the 3.5 Player's Handbook and 3.5 Dungeon Master's Guide revised, updated. Some people have referred to it as 3.75. Paizo Press took the OGL rules and improved them in their own particular way, and then published them as their own core game. In October next month, they're going to be releasing a bestiary, a monster manual, which I already pre-ordered, which I'm looking forward to. And essentially, they wanted to take 3.5 D&D rules and improve them where they thought they had weak spots. And I think that for the most part, they have succeeded. Now, I look at the rules in this, I freely admit that I did not read every single spell. There's a whole lot of spells in this book. I know that they have updated some of them and made some changes to them. They've changed the polymorph rules, for example, and broken those into specific spells that cover certain kinds of forms, like an animal form or a humanoid form or a dragon form, trying to get the polymorph rules under a little bit more control and make them less abusable as they were under 3.5 rules. And I freely admit the polymorph rules did have a definite opportunity for people who wanted to abuse them. But they also made some other changes. They increased hit dice for the Ranger and the Sorcerer and the Wizard. They've restructured the classes so that there are fewer, actually maybe not any, dead levels, where everybody gets something on some level from 1 to 20, trying to make it a player's desire to stick with a single class from 1st to 20th level much more desirable, which I fully endorse. Now, I think prestige classes are a great idea. I think that in a lot of ways, 3rd edition almost said that you had to use them, and that kind of bothered me. It particularly bothered me when I saw people using 2 or 3, sometimes 4 different prestige classes to tailor what they wanted, which really, to me, made absolutely no sense. Because in the real world, while there are Renaissance people, most humans practice 1 or 2 types of life paths, and that's it. They don't diversify themselves to the point where they're a surgeon and a lawyer and a concert pianist all at once. And if they try doing these things, they tend to do them to a much lower success rate than someone that pursues a single life path, like brain surgeon. So the fact that Pathfinder makes a single class character more attractive, I think, is a very positive thing. For example, the Ranger, which is what have always been one of my favorite classes, possibly because it's the first character I ever ran way back in 1978, they've given them favored terrain as well as favored enemies, which I think is a great idea. It makes complete sense for a Ranger, a very woodsy, outdoorsy guy lives on the edge of civilization kind of thing, to be good at living in specific terrains and expanding his or her knowledge of those terrains over time. Look at Les Stroud from Survivor Man, a perfect example of what a Ranger should be. The game still has the Rangers as a spellcasting class. I think that isn't necessarily a great thing. I would have preferred to see an option where the Ranger had no spellcasting. Maybe throw in the Barbarian's fast movement and the trap sense, and bump the animal companion for the Ranger from, I think, 3rd or 4th level. Make it at 1st level. It's just like a druid. So make them more outdoorsy and less magic oriented. That's just me. Sorcerers all now have bloodlines. You have to pick a bloodline when you pick a sorcerer. And the bloodlines are things like angelic bloodlines, demonic bloodlines, draconic bloodlines, arcane bloodlines, fey bloodlines. And this means that your magic comes from one of these sources, and you get additional skills and feats and powers based on your bloodline, which I think is much more flavorful than the 3.5 edition version of the Sorcerer, who was kind of flavorless in a lot of ways. They redid the skills, which is refreshing because the skills were a little math intensive in some ways because you had skill points. And if you bought class skills, it was 1 skill point per rank, but you've got cross class skills, it was 2 skill points per rank, and you had penalties and things like that. It was to my mind, it was a combination of positive and negative traits, which were a little confusing. In the Pathfinder version, you can buy skill points for anything. You can spell it with ranks and skills. They got rid of skill points completely. Now it's just ranks. If you take a rank in a class skill, you get a +3 bonus to your roll. If you take a rank in a skill that isn't a class skill, for example, acrobatics for a fighter, you don't get a bonus. It's just a flat purchase. And to my mind, that's much more elegant and much simpler to keep track of. Also, they redid the skills and they combine things. For example, acrobatics now covers jumping, tumbling, all at once. So you don't have to have separate skills. So you don't have to worry about spending those precious ranks in your skills so much. They go a little further. And I really like this. I think it took me a little bit to wrap my head around the fact that first level characters don't get huge numbers of ranks, but then again, you don't necessarily need huge number of ranks anymore. I think it's a good idea, and I was really fully endorsing this idea. Now, this game has really got me interested in playing again. I haven't played in a dog's age, and I would like to, and this game has reinvigorated my desire to be a role player in an active sense as opposed to mostly a commentator on videos and on forums and a collector of role-playing books, which I still am, as if anyone who's seen my Gaming Bonanza video recently. I like this game. I think it's an excellent adaptation of the 3.5 rules. I think anyone who is interested in looking at a reinterpretation of the rules should check this out. Now, the hardcover can be gotten for like $33, I think, on Amazon. But you can get the PDF direct from Paizo for like $10. So it's not much of a buy-in to get the full version of the game if you just want to, give it a taste and see if you really want to invest in a hardcover. So, yeah, one note: if you do decide to get the PDF, there's 2 versions available. One is a single PDF document, and the other is a multiple PDF document. So it's each chapter is a separate PDF document, depending on how you like them. I think both are available to you if you purchase it, but make sure you choose the one you like. So 2 thumbs up on the new Pathfinder game. I look forward to getting a chance to play it.